Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Danielle Hanson. I am a territory manager on the Americas team, managing the Midwest and Heartland region. We are here today to talk to you about Nintex document generation for Office 365. So first off, I do want to go ahead and welcome everyone here today. I know that we have a very nice mix of existing clients that are using Nintex today, and folks that are brand new to Nintex and maybe interested in moving to the cloud, maybe already in the cloud in Office 365, or potentially interested in just learning a little bit more about the document generation action within Nintex. So let's talk a little bit about some of the processes and the documents that you guys may use on a daily basis. So creating documents may seem like it's a one-off process and maybe shouldn't really be a process, but as you probably see, there's a need for various documents to occur, and they occur often. Maybe it's daily, multiple times per day, and then they're always reoccurring. So it certainly makes sense to streamline those processes. So think about things like purchase orders, quotes, response letters, NDAs. These are all aspects of running a business that really they're tasks that no one loves, but everybody has to do them, and really nobody questions them. So they're small inefficiencies that in the minds of most, simply it's just the cost of doing business. So when we're performing these daily document generation tasks, employees can sometimes feel stuck in neutral while the fast-paced world continues to kind of whiz by them. And of course, that's really not something that's ideal. So the lack of automated document creation can sometimes become a growing problem. It's really the continual buildup that leads to just more inefficiencies within the organization. It can really take time away from the critical projects that you may have, may increase opportunity for errors, lead to lost information without tracking or connection to your internal systems. And really without automation, there can be bottlenecks within your organization, maybe potentially manual interventions that have to take place, missteps, dropped actions, inefficiencies, and really with risks within the organization, which of course can become a big problem that your organization may need to look into further. So if you're familiar with Nintex, then you absolutely know that this is the stuff that we love. We love to help our clients to really optimize their businesses and really specifically the business processes that they have. So we build out tools that really take the burden off of IT and allow users to work inspired. So really it's all about having workflows that generate documents that connect people, processes, and content really in a digital workspace. So you can see here that it's all around having a designer, forms, and a mobile capability that really kind of builds out this entire workflow platform that we have. So let's take a minute here to just kind of talk a little bit about what document generation really is. So let's think about it in three different ways. So first off, let's take some data, really any data. This could be simple to complex data requirements. Document generation allows users to automate and customize the document generation or document creation process using Office 365 and SharePoint, or really any other external company data. Then it takes that data and pushes it into a document. We're really talking a combination of document types, whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF. You can customize both internally and externally. And those documents that you create can be really whatever it is that you guys need those documents to be. It could be a sales quote, it could be a proposal, a contract, an account plan, business or pipeline reviews, forecast reviews, you name it, we can certainly build out the document for it. Then we give you the flexibility to really be able to deliver that in whatever delivery method it is that you want, whether it's Google Docs, Dropbox, Box, Microsoft Dynamics, DocuSign, Office 365. really all of this is done to empower business users to provide high-quality customer communications quickly and easily, while also ensuring consistency and accuracy in all the business documents and reporting that you are generating. So just a little bit of food for thought. Here's some ideas in terms of the different teams and functions or line of businesses that may have various documents that they could and should be automating today. So think about things like in the sales organization, things like quotes, proposals, contracts, account plans, maybe agreements. And then the legal and procurement team, things are going to be a little bit different there, like terms and conditions, contracts, vendor agreements, potentially packages. On the sales side, small company, maybe you've heard of them, LinkedIn, actually their sales reps have been able to turn around proposals using the Nintex document generation action. They've been able to cut that time and turn it around in half the time than they were before using the Nintex document generation action. So absolutely, certainly helps speed up processes and make the organization much more productive. On the support side, ASCAP, they actually increased and generated licensing agreements. It went from 75 agreements that they did per week to 7,500 per week, and that was that's just that one process alone by using Nintex. So of course, they're getting their agreements out to their customers faster, likely leading to faster sales cycles and really improving that productivity for their entire team. So what are some of the benefits of document generation? First off, productivity. Increased productivity by standardizing documents and automating their creation. Configurability, reducing complexity by assembling documents using data from various business apps, all inside of Office 365. And then accuracy, improving that accuracy by ensuring the consistency and accuracy of all your business critical documents. And aside from these document generation benefits, one of the things that I absolutely love and what I think is an added bonus is you're getting these benefits all on top of leveraging that existing Office 365 investment that you've made. So whether you're leveraging Office 365 now or you've got a path to the cloud and plan to get yourself there, you're leveraging that investment that your organization has already made. And then also on top of that, you're driving that user adoption. So of course, whenever there's any a change within the organization, maybe it's moving to the cloud, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, and you're going to want to have that user adoption. And by using Nintex and generating documents via Nintex, this could be that ticket to helping you guys drive that user adoption. So in terms of the Nintex document generation action, basically what we do is we give you the ability to create Nintex workflow processes that can assemble highly formatted Word, Excel, and PowerPoint documents in Office 365 with data that's integrated from SharePoint and other databases such as SQL. So this kind of gives you a little bit of a snapshot of the Nintex actions, and you can specifically see here the document generation action, and then a bit on the designer canvas. But I'm actually, rather than talking about it, I think we're just going to jump right into it and see it live. So I'm actually going to flip this over now to my partner in crime, Vadim Tabakman. He's the lead technical evangelist on the Americas team. So he's actually going to jump in and actually show you a demo of the Nintex document generation action. So I will go ahead and pass it over to Vadim now.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle, and awesome intro. Let's share my screen, and hopefully you guys can see it shortly. Danielle, do you want to tell me when you can see it? And then I'll
can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So what we're looking at here is an Office 365 environment, and I've got a couple of things that I'm going to point out. First of all, I have a list called Safety Inspection. So this is a list where it's going to have a Nintex form that people can fill in. You can fill it in by simply clicking on New Item, or maybe display the form in a web part somewhere on your site. Make it really easy for people to fill in, or you can even use like a mobile form or using the Nintex mobile app. So if you have safety inspectors going out on site, they can fill this form in, get all the information, excuse me, and kick off this process. So what I'm going to do is actually show you what it looks like from the user experience, just from the browser base for now, and then show you how the actual process actually works behind the scenes, so the form design, the workflow design, etc. All right, so normally people will click on a New Item, So I'm actually going to pretend I click on new item, and I'm going to jump to this tab where I've already pre-filled in a form. That way I don't have to put in my personal latitude and longitude and give you guys my address. So you can see I've just put in a title, an inspection date, the location of where this safety inspection is actually occurring, who the local site contact is, and then we can put in some inspection items. So for example, I've added a couple here with a repeating section. You've got your frame, we'll do some inspections on framing and also on the sheetrock. And I've set this severity to medium. You can attach other things. The cool thing about this particular form is if you were to use the Nintex mobile app, because this is a safety inspection type form, your inspectors can actually take photos and attach them to this form. So it kicks off the process with every bit of information they can actually provide to help this move along faster. Excuse me. Let's click on save. And what this is going to do is create the item up here. You can see Richard Rowe. It's going to kick off a workflow that's going to start. Part of that workflow is it's going to get some information and populate these fields and potentially assign a task and do all that sort of stuff. And then at the end, once everything is all good, we want to generate a document after that. So let's have a look what's actually happened in a real life scenario. So this is just an example of a form I filled in, but let's take a look at this form right here, which is the SI8010 form. I'm going to click on view item just to have a look what it looks like. This will bring up a view of this particular form, and you'll see that all the information, latitude and longitude. We've actually pulled out the address, so we know exactly where this inspection is happening. We've got 3 items in our repeating section, and we also have an image down here that was attached, like I said, from that mobile app. Now, I'm going to keep this open, and what I'm going to do now is actually jump over here to the completed inspection report. So you'll see these are all PDF files. There's my SI8010 PDF, and I'm going to click on this and see what it looks like. Now you see, let's zoom out a little bit. We have our logo up here, the name of the report. You'll see the address. Now notice originally when we were filling in the form, we didn't put an address in, we just put in the latitude and longitude. So it was able to actually read that information, query a particular service, probably something like Google Maps, and pull out the actual address. And it's also dynamically populated this table in here with the nice headers, all the items in here, the condition, and the notes. You can see looks just fine. Replace, I assume that's meant to be replace a tap, and then, oops. And you can see how that's just created that form for us, all in a nice PDF format. Now the cool thing about this is you can then take this PDF and you can send it off to people. You can send it to some other system like DocuSign if you need to sign off on this particular document. So it really opens up what you can do with these types of business processes. So let's have a quick look at how this is all coming together. So we saw this was the actual form that we filled in. I'm going to jump over here. This is the actual form design. And you'll notice it looks just like what we saw with the actual form that we were filling in. But on the right here, we also have all the different layouts. In this case, we have a smartphone layout. So again, we're making it easy for people who are using their smartphones to fill in this particular safety inspection form if they don't have the Nintex mobile app. So this is a smartphone layout for the browser, right? Just a slightly better user experience so you can scroll up and down when filling in this form rather than scrolling left and right and doing all sorts of stuff. The other 2 layouts you'll see here, the Nintex mobile phone and Nintex mobile tablet, these are the 2 layouts that handle the Nintex mobile app. Again, that just provides an even better user experience, right? It allows you to have people who go out on site who potentially may not necessarily have connectivity back to your Office 365 environment. Maybe there's just no internet connectivity. Maybe your users have to do safety inspections or whatever, interviews or surveys in a place where there's just no internet connectivity. So the mobile app really allows you to do that type of work, fill in all that data and submit it without having that connectivity need. Now you can see here our latitude and longitude control. We have our address field, and then really what happens when somebody actually fills in this form and submits it is the actual workflow kicks off. So this is all the heart and soul of what this process is. So let's jump to the next tab and have a look at that. Let's close that. All right, we're going to scroll to the very beginning. Now you can see here there's a bunch of actions. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff here. We're setting the workflow status, updating some list items. Maybe we're updating the ID and things like that. Doing a bunch of queries. I'm not going to focus as much on the entire workflow design because what this is really doing is getting a whole bunch of data from the form, maybe from some other systems. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And what I want to show you is right here where we're taking that longitude and latitude, getting the individual values out, and you can see we're doing a call to the Google Maps API. So I'm going to pop this open, and you can see there it is, maps.googleapis.com. So you'll see this workflow is actually grabbing that information, calling the Google Maps API to get that address. Right? So now we don't have to worry about where a particular form is being filled in. We can just grab the latitude and longitude, and we can figure out the rest in the workflow process. Okay, let's keep scrolling down to get to the really good bits. And right at the bottom, actually right here, there's our Ask a Manager to escalate. You'll actually notice it's asking, is the severity high? So there was a reason why I picked severity equals medium, so we could actually bypass this particular process and we can see the document being generated. At the very bottom of this workflow, we have the document generation action. I'm going to pop this open and really show you how easy it is to start building out these documents. Now, first of all, you have to specify where do you want to keep your document template. Right? In this case, I've got a document library called Document Templates. It's right here. I have one document template in there. It's basically a Word document. I pick which one I want, or I can create a new one. And then what I can also do is specify what do I want my output to be. So, for example, you can pick PDF, or you want to keep the original file type. In this case, it could be the docx or the Word document, or maybe you're dealing with a PowerPoint presentation or something like that. You could do that as well. And then finally, where do you want the output document to go, and what name do you want to give it? So in this case, we're just going to keep the current title, and then what this will do is be smart enough to actually recognize that because we've chosen PDF, we're going to put a .pdf extension on the end of that. Or if we're keeping it as the source file type, we'll just put a docx or a .pptx, whatever it is, on the end of that, and it will generate that for us. Now, the first thing I want to point out is this little label at the top here. This tells you how many document generations you currently have available to and how many you've used up. In my environment, I've used up 7 out of my 12,039. Nice random number there. But it gives you an idea of how many document generations you have left in your allotment. Now, the thing is, when it comes to building out this template, I'm going to click on, oh, actually, I'm not going to click on Edit Word, but let's say you click on Edit Word. What will happen is, in Word, is this will come up. This is Microsoft Word. This is where we have our template. You'll see the logo that we showed you earlier, the label for the title, Safety Matters Report, and you'll notice some other little customizations in here. Now, what I want you to focus on are these tokens here. These less than, and then the name, greater than. Now, what these are workflow variables. So what you're doing when you're actually building out this template is you're looking at grabbing all the information that you need in your document, putting them in the appropriate workflow variables, and then when it comes to bringing up this Word document to actually customize the template, you'll see a document on your left, and you'll see this Nintex document generation tagger on the right. So notice how it says variables. This will show me all the variables and their types in this in the current workflow that we're using. So if I was to actually come over here and I wanted to insert the longitude, I can click on longitude, click on insert, and it will insert that item into there. Notice the left, less than, greater than. So even though you have this tagger, you can also type this in, right? So if I was to actually just get rid of this, if I wanted to do something like this and go, oops, can't spell today, latitude, that will work also, right? But the tagger really makes things a lot easier for you. So in this case, we've got the address variable going in there, inspection date going in there, inspection name going into here. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The thing that you want is you're going to have data coming in from your form that has a repeating section, right? You're going to have multiple rows of data in there. At design time, you don't know how many rows you're going to have, right? It's very dynamic. So you want to be able to build out this table, set some labels for all the columns. You can see item, condition, and notes. And then what you want to do is insert the values that you want. In this case, you can see we have final collection, and we've got a start, final collection ID, final collection rating, and notes. So let's have a look where these are in here. Scroll down. Here's my final collection, right? So this collection has multiple pieces of data. It's got the ID, it's got ratings, it's got notes. But what this final collections underscore start does is it lets you actually say, I want this table to be dynamic because there are going to be multiple rows of data. So you can see it's a little different to just inserting text where you just have, this is what's going to get inserted into this particular document. You just click on insert tag. When you're dealing with dictionaries and you're dealing with collections, you have multiple pieces of data in there. So in this case, you have what do you want to install when insert into this document once you selected your collection variable. Do you want to insert the starter collection table, or do you want to insert some sort of key, right? So by just having this underscore start in the first cell of this particular table, and then have the actual fields that you want, this will dynamically populate this table and will actually get Word to dynamically grow this table as it's being generated. So let's jump back to our list here, and I'm going to actually come back here, go back to this list, and you can see I have 5 items in here. Let's do a refresh, and hopefully another item has been created. It has 9 minutes ago. Let's click on this, open it up, and have a look at it. Now, the latitude and longitude I actually put in was for Antarctica, so we have this poor safety inspector who had to go to this freezing tundra, and you can see all the information there, the inspection date, and then notice I typed in framing and sheetrock into my form, and now this has dynamically populated this particular form, or this particular document. So you can see how easy it is to start building these out. Now, like as Danielle mentioned, document generation is now becoming part of just processes in general, right? It's rather than having somebody actually generate these documents manually, you can now automate this entire process. And I know that she had this really cool example of one customer, I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle, it was LinkedIn, and they're doing something like 7,500 document generations a week. Now, just think about that in terms of how much time that would have saved. Let's say that only saves 1 minute for every document generation, right? Let's say by automating this process, you have saved a human being 1 minute from having to do some work. That's 7,500 minutes a week that you're saving, right, from your employees having to do that sort of work. That's a ton of time, and you start thinking about that over a year, that's a big saving for the company by automating this particular process. Now, one thing I do want to point out is with all this, as with all sort of examples, you're going to be building out this particular process in a test or a QA environment. So anything in here that you're going to be using, make sure you have a document templates library in your destination site. So let's say you have an Office 365 environment where you're building out this particular process and you want to test it out and go through some sort of approval process before you move it to production. If you have a library called document templates, a library called completed inspection reports, make sure you have the same named libraries in your destination or your production site. Also, we'll save you a whole bunch of time by actually recreating the template if you just copy this particular template. So if I jump to my document templates, if you just grab this template, move it to your production site, it'll be as simple as simply going to your workflow, get out of this, clicking on export, taking it to your production site and clicking on import. Really easy to do, so it's going to save you a whole bunch of time there. That was everything I was going to show you. I'm going to pass this back on to Danielle, and we'll finish off on some more information and then open it up for some questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Vadim.
No problem. And there you go, Danielle. It's all yours.
All right. Are you guys able to see the screen on the customer success?
I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I just want to take a minute here to quickly talk a little bit about customer success with document generation using Nintex. So of course we talked about LinkedIn and ASCAP and kind of the some of the high-level results that they've seen, but just want to talk to you about one other example, and that is BitTitan. You can actually see a quote there from their legal counsel that Nintex is like the best legal associate that they could have hired. But basically what they were looking to do is their legal team needed to generate, or they do generate, hundreds of legal documents. And really, instead of asking their already slammed IT and development team to kind of come in and help them out, they turned to Nintex. And what they were able to do is by using just that one document generation action, they've been able to generate 110 stock option agreements for new hires in a day, rather than what those 110 stock options used to take them a week to actually build those out when they were doing them manual. And now what they've seen is they have fewer revisions of those NDAs and stock option agreements, and they've reduced their cost by $20,000 per year, and they're saving on average 15 minutes for every stock option document. Now, when you're thinking about that and looking at these numbers, you might be thinking, you know, in the grand scheme of things, maybe saving 20K here or there. If you're a very large organization, you know, maybe that's not all that much. But the thing to keep in mind is that's just one process within the organization. Think about every line of business, every document that is created. We could be talking about massive, massive savings here once you start really automating all of your processes, and most importantly, generating all of your documents in an automated fashion. So just to kind of recap a little bit here in terms of if you liked what you saw today, maybe interested in seeing a little bit more, couple of options for you. So first off, we offer a trial for all of our customers, no matter what you're interested in. To get a trial, it's free. Basically go in and download Nintex, both workflow and forms. Within the Nintex workflow trial, you will have the document generation action in there. Great thing about that is it does come with 50 free document generations. Or if maybe you've already had the trial, you're interested in just starting to build out your documents and you're ready to move forward. In terms of the pricing and licensing, we've got a couple of different options. We've got the 12,000 document generations for 12,000, or 120,000 document generations for 24,000. And actually, some even more exciting news, we just rolled out an even smaller option in case you know you definitely need more than the 50, which comes with the trial, but maybe the 12,000 is just a little bit too much just as you're starting out, and you kind of want to have more of like a proof of concept, or just kind of want to dabble a little bit more, but no, 50 won't cut it. We do have an option for 6,000, and the pricing on that is $7,000 for the 6,000 document generation. So a lot of different options there. We can absolutely find something that works for you. And then, of course, really using it, you're never going to have to leave the familiarity or your Office 365 environment. So again, going back to that user adoption and kind of leveraging that investment that you've already got, kind of keeping everything stored in-house within your Office 365 environment. And then just to kind of recap a little bit for those of you that are a little bit newer to Nintex, just want to give you a quick overview of what the Nintex platform is. So of course, we've got the Nintex workflow piece where you can build out and automate your business processes very quickly. We've got the Nintex forms piece, which is the user interface that kind of kicks off that workflow, has all that powerful business logic in there. Nintex mobile, which allows you to extend your workflows and forms so that your users, no matter where they are, they can always stay connected. Nintex connectors, which allow you to connect to other cloud-based applications that the organization is using. And then the document generation piece, of course, which is part of our acquisition of Drawloop. So being able to create and deliver those documents that you guys have a need to build out and also automate, streamline. So with that, I think we'll pause here and we will take some questions. So If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat box, and Vadim and I can tackle those together. So we'll give folks a couple more minutes to kind of type in any questions that they may have. It doesn't look like we have any at the moment.
Oh, I can see a few, so let's I'll jump into it and see what we can answer right now. So our first question was, can you please send us a link on where this will be posted for later review? I assume we'll be able to. We're recording this right now, so we'll definitely put it onto our site, and we'll send out an email to everybody so they can access it and show it to their colleagues. So shouldn't be a problem there. The next question was, we have SharePoint 2010 on-prem utilizing an Nintex workflow. We also have Office 365 in a hybrid configuration. Can this solution be implemented to such an environment? So what we actually show you today, this document generation action, that is specifically for our Office 365 environment. So you can definitely use that if you have an Nintex workflow in Office 365. Alternatively, if you are on-prem, we do have some actions to be able to generate documents there. It's not to the same, I guess, complexity or as much power as you can with the document generation action in Office 365. But you can definitely generate some documents. You just can't have those repeating section of data in those documents in the on-prem version. The next question was, we have purchased workflows and forms for Office 365. Does that include document generation action, or is it an additional license? Do you want to tackle that one, Danielle?
Sure. Yeah, so that would include, you would get the 50 kind of to use as a trial, and then if you needed anything additional outside of that 50, then you would need to license, and that was those options that I provided, the 6,000 document generations, and there's the 12,000 and then 120,000. So 3 different options there to find the right fit for you.
Awesome. Okay, next one is, will this be available on-prem? It is something that we're looking into. I don't believe there's an ETA for when it will be available, but I know that our developers are actually investigating that right now. So that's about all I can say about that at the moment. Let's see. Okay, here's a good question. When considering Nintex, what assistance is given to customers for training, seeing the forms and workflows? Interesting, however, we're concerned on who or how we learn how to use the products. So great question. There's a number of places you can go. We have our community site, which is community.nintex.com. There's a ton of information on there. There's tutorials, there's forums, there's things you can download. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. We're actually getting a subsite of that pretty soon, where you'll have other things you'll be able to download, which is going to be really cool, called the Nintex Exchange. So that's going to be fantastic for you guys, and it'll be should be coming up pretty soon, and it'll be pretty popular with a bunch of workflows and forms and user-defined actions, both and stuff for on-prem, stuff for Office 365, all sorts of stuff. So that'll be really good too. The other thing we have is we have a learning center called learning.nintex.com, which everybody has access to. So you can always go there and learn about Nintex workflow and Nintex forms. And then finally, we have our channel or our partner network. So we have thousands of partners around the world that would be able to provide training for you as well. Okay, let's see the next one. Oh, it's a question for you, Danielle. Is the 12,000 a one-time price or an annual price?
It is an annual subscription. Good question.
Okay, perfect. Does this require Nintex forms? It does not. The reason why I showed you the part with Nintex forms is just to show you that repeating data that you just don't have access to with an out-of-the-box SharePoint form. So it's a nice way of showing you how you have a repeating section with dynamic number of rows in there, and you can still grab that information and move it into a dynamically generated document. Let's see, let's scroll down a little bit, so bear with me because I just lost my spot. Will Nintex workflow and forms mobile all work with Office 365? How about connectivity to web services? Yes, we have a workflow and a forms product for Office 365. That's what we were showing you during the demo. There is a mobile component with Nintex mobile app that supports that as well. Connectivity to web services. You have connectivity to web services through the browser-based mobile form, and we're working on, maybe providing that into the mobile app as well, but we'll see about that one. Let's see. There was a question on how would one access Salesforce content. We do have a number of Salesforce-specific actions for Nintex Workflow. So you simply go to the store in the Nintex Workflow Designer, see the Salesforce action pack, and just simply add that to your designer. There is a cost associated with using that particular pack, but that gives you the ability to query, to update, query data, delete, create, all that sort of stuff, all within Salesforce. Let's see. Does the action have smarts around splitting tables that span multiple pages? It doesn't have that in there at the moment, from my understanding. I've never done a massive table like that, but I know there are a few things that we're looking into to extending this particular process. That was one of them, so hopefully that will come in pretty soon. Let's see. Can I create PDF-A in the future? Yes, you will right now, but that is actually one of the big things that as soon as we release this, that was one of the big questions. So PDF-A coming soon. Let's see, what SharePoint engine does Nintex Workflow run on? Does it support SharePoint? So Nintex Workflow in Office 365 works on the Workflow Manager. On-prem, it works on the legacy Workflow engine. Can we use this in the SharePoint 2013 environment? Nope. This document generation action is only available for the Office 365 product, but we do have some word automation actions like reading, I think it's reading, updating, and converting documents from Word to PDF in the on-prem version. Just not as powerful, like I mentioned earlier, with regards to repeating sections. Let's see. How are we doing with, we've got plenty of time. Can this be used with other Office clients? PowerPoint, yes. PowerPoint, yes. Excel, I believe so. I've never done it, but I believe it is supported. So if you want to just shoot me an email after this, or maybe just shoot an email to support@nintex.com, I can just confirm that Excel is supported. Let's see. Can business rules be implemented to validate the data integrated into the documents? So with regards to business rules, what you would do is all the business rules you would basically implement inside the workflow, so that you validate all the data before you actually generate the document. As to other things you can do in Word documents, I'm not a Word document expert. So if there are things you can do in there to like hide and show things, I would say yes, you could probably do it. But I would definitely recommend you do all your validation and calculations in the workflow that's actually generating that particular document. Does your tool allow us to create and modify DCO template and workflow itself? I don't know what a DCO template is, so you might want to shoot me an email afterwards, and I can look into that for you, but it's not something I've heard of. And let's see, that's about the other thing. There is one question around what version of Word is required. I believe it's 2013 and above, but I'll confirm that. That is, I believe, all the questions. If there are any other questions, we'll hang on for a few more minutes. And
while some of you are thinking about some potential questions, I did post a link here. If you're interested in scheduling a more in-depth demo, feel free to reach out to us this way. If you're interested in actually getting a quote or just talking to your territory manager or account development manager, we can certainly put your request in this way and we will find you.
So one question came in, said, can you allow people to use Nintex form library when they are not part of your organization, for example, sign a contract? I would say that for yesterday I would have said no, only because there's no way of that I was aware of publishing that form to such a way that people not part of your organization can fill it in. But I heard recently there's something in Office 365 that will allow you to do that, so potentially it is possible. But I would say if you're looking at taking that form and getting people to sign a contract, is what would be really great is if you take the data from a form, convert it to something like a PDF, and then send it through DocuSign to that user to get them to sign off on it that way, because then that is a true signing of a contract and is a legally binding document rather than just somebody signing something on a web form. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. Let's see if there's any others that I can see. I don't know, Danielle, can you see any of the questions in there?
I'm actually having a hard time seeing the questions in general, so
okay,
my
no
guess
problem.
is you've covered them all. I don't know.
Yeah. Any other questions? What we'll do is we'll take them, offline and shoot you guys a response for anything that we missed. But
yeah, you can definitely reach out to the webinars at nintex.com alias that's here, and they will route those questions over to Vadim and myself. So I'm more than happy to answer any additional questions that you guys may think of.
Yeah. The last one I just saw come in says, does Nintex provide any integration with DocuSign? Yes, there is a DocuSign action pack for Nintex Workflow for Office 365 and for on-prem that actually allows you to take that data, generate a document like a PDF, and then through DocuSign get them to send it off to somebody, get them to sign it, and once it's signed, the workflow can actually grab a copy of that signed document and store it for archiving purposes in your document library. So definitely have actions that you can use pretty much straight out of the box. I think if you have Nintex Workflow for Office 365 and you don't see those actions, just go to the store and then and add the DocuSign action pack. And let's see.
All right. Well, were there any more questions for them?
I think that's all I can say. Oh, I just say another one just came in. Can we expect most of the same functionality with the on-prem for document generation minus the repeating table? So yeah, pretty much the same sort of functionality in our on-prem product for generating documents, but just not as powerful as the one in Office 365. But hopefully we'll have the same sort of functionality in our on-prem product fairly soon. That is it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Vadim. Thank you, everybody that took some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Nintex and Office 365 and specifically document generation. Like we said, feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all. More than happy to help out. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.